What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are in Large Marge. A, because you guys love Large Marge, and B, because we're going to pull a heavy burnt truck off the mountain. So this truck was brought to our attention by our buddy Kane Blake, who does this kind of stuff all the time. Okanagan Forest Task Force. So this one's on a bit of a side trail. So what we're doing today is bringing it down to kind of a more main road where he can access it with his truck and trailer. This is the bit tighter trail that I speak of. Got Ryan with me today in the passenger seat, and also doing a little driving while I do the gas and brake and filming. If that makes sense, right? Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to bring a truck and trailer through here. Also very deactivated. She's a bit loose, by the way. So we're going from one end to the other because we don't actually have an exact location for where the truck is, and we can pull it out either direction. There's kind of a main road that leads to both ends of the trail. So far I'd say we're probably at least halfway.
Yeah, I think about halfway down the trail here.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it yet, so I'm thinking probably gonna end up being pulled out that way, which, I mean, the less we have to do of this trail, probably the better, because if it's further that way, it's mostly downhill, so that'd be nice.
Yep.
There she is, F450. So it won't be light, and you can't really tell, but that section right there is very steep. Gas tank's sitting 20 feet behind it for some reason. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a pig.
That is one cooked truck.
Yeah, and that's a pretty steep hill behind it too.
Yeah.
With loose dirt.
Yep.
But I think that might be, I'm pretty sure that's the last hill before it kind of goes to flat, like little ups and downs, but all the way to the power line. I think we're at that point. So I think, considering I can't get around it, it's a little tight to the bank, we'll have to pull it forward first, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking I'll go sit up top of that bank, because it's about 80 feet, and we'll winch it up there. And then I'd like to get it turned around to pull from the front, because the front tires are burnt, the rears are not. Yeah, she is cooked. Well done. Well, I guess medium, because the back's still uncooked. Not in great shape though. That's gonna be a good pull. All right, so we're kind of remembering things as we go. If we get it into neutral, then it's gonna be chasing us downhill, but we really wanted in neutral to go up here. So yeah, we'll figure that out. For now, we are going to try to pull the back end around so it's facing the right direction, because we want to hook onto the front since the rear tires are still in one piece. So Ryan's gonna grab a chain, hook it up to the back tire, hook it to the front of Marge, and see if I can just pull the back end around enough that I can sneak in front without having to go back down this hill too much, because it's really loose stuff. if you want to unhook for a second, I'll pull it back a bit more this way and should be able to get around. All right, now I'm gonna move around to the front. We'll hook onto the back of Marge real short with a chain because burnt sharp edges and stuff, and see if we can make it up this 150 feet of loose rock and dirt on top of hard pack. Bad combination.
Hooked onto the frame, hooked onto the back of Marge. Good to go. She's anchored.
Want to try and slap it in neutral?
Yep.
Yeah, it's loose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's digging hard. I think that's neutral. She's pretty crispy in there, so.
Well, it is just too loose and too steep here. We're gonna try one more thing, hooking it under the bumper for some more lift on it as we pull, but might end up having to winch it up this portion because after this I think we'll be okay. This is just, yeah, lots of rocks and loose gravel on hard pack. It's never good.
Yeah.
So close to just pulling.
There's a big off rock underneath there too.
Yeah.
Something is binding up like
what is
crazy. Hang on one sec.
That's weird.
Tires are starting to look like drag tires on takeoff.
Yeah.
Whoa, hang on, stop. Chain hook unhooked.
I think we switch and snatch block it, do a couple pulls, or else we'll shave $1,000 off the tires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're working with there. I know you can't tell how steep it is, but not a lot of traction in that stuff. So we were making it inch by inch, but it's just too hard on the tires. There's such sharp rocks and I don't want to destroy the tires just for this. So we're gonna switch to winch. We'll try single line for now, because that way I think I can get to the top of the hill. And if not, then I'll come back down, put a winch ring in, and then we'll have to do it a few at a time. But we'll try this because this is the quickest.
Yep.
So Ryan's just hooking up the winch line, the bridle, the tree saver, just trying to get enough length to make it up to this deactivation that I can hook my tires in. Wow, I look very red on camera. I'm not, but it is hot. All right, she's all hooked up single line. I don't have high hopes, but we'll give it a shot. I'm kind of hooked onto the deactivation there. This thing is fighting us. I think what's happening is that front axle is on some very buried, very large rocks, and I'm pretty sure it's just up against it. That's where I couldn't go anymore when it was hooked onto the back. And now that we're snatch blocked, it should be at least budging it. So I think it's planted against a very large buried rock. So Ryan's just unhooking now. I'm going to go around the back side of it, and we're gonna have to pull it back off of that and try and pick a different route where it misses the rocks, because literally 100 feet ahead, I think I'll be able to just pull it no problem. All right, I'm kind of skipping some steps here. Sorry, but time's ticking. Got the truck to there. A lot of hammering with a chain, which there's not a ton of kinetic energy in chains, but we don't want to use Yankums here because there's a lot of sharp edges and it's sketchy when you don't know if stuff is solid, because if you hit against it, it's got kinetic energy that could throw whatever piece it's connected to very far. Whereas the chain doesn't stretch. If it were to break, it would basically just drop. So not saying chain's better than kinetic. I hate using chains. It's hard on everything, hard on Marge, hard on me. But yeah, the ground was just too loose. So we did make it probably 70 feet. So I'm up top now in the little deactivation. I can anchor to a tree up there. We're going to try the winch again, because I think it's just the front axle, the wheels without tires, just digging into the soft stuff. I don't have enough traction. Just a side note, if you're worried about us running over those little trees, this is a Forest Service road, and every few years they come through here with a death machine on the end of a tractor or excavator and smash these trees to bits. So if anything, we're doing them a favor. All right, another anchor it is. Gotta be on some again. Well, it just keeps digging in, so we are going to try and spin the truck around. Yes, how it originally was, but like 10 feet further up the hill, making the last couple hours a waste, but I think that's what needs to happen. because in theory, it's kind of like if you've ever pushed a stroller or tried to push a stroller through the sand compared to pulling it. That's the same effect here, but with 8,000 pounds. This thing has really been ticking us off. Tried to spin around, not enough room, so we had to go all the way around. We're back on the downhill side of it, and we've decided to just pull it out this way. Even though it is quite a bit longer, there's deactivations. I just think that's the option right now, because when we went out the other way, there was a lot of like pretty big buried rocks that would get hung up on. And this way we can tow it backwards. I think that's gonna be the ticket. So obviously the first few hundred feet won't be a problem because it's pretty steep downhill. At least we got a good view. And clouds came over, so it's not as hot. We will see how this goes. We probably have like 4 kilometers of this to drive out. Ryan's just throwing the fuel tank that they ripped out of it for some reason into the cab, and then we'll pull beside and pick up some of this junk from the a-holes that did this. And if you're thinking, isn't that where you guys first started right there? Shut up.
Yeah, keep going. Yep. Yep. Ooh, okay, hang on.
Boy, did we get ourselves in a bit of a pickle. The chain wrapped around the tires and kind of tightened up as we were going down, so I was trying to escape it and it was getting closer, and then it was jammed basically against the truck. But with the rear winch and some no quit attitude, we freed ourselves. So bit longer rope, using the Yankum bridle for a little bit of give because it's rough with the chains. We'll see if we can make it down the remainder of this steep hill.
Take 53. Yep.
So this thing is being a real nuisance, for lack of better terms. I got better terms, but it's YouTube. We've pulled it a ways, but it is just digging in brutal. So what would be really good is, well, with this setup, is towing it forward with 2 log skis under the front axle. So we're gonna leave it for tonight because it's already 5:30, but we're gonna be back and we will get this sucker out because we don't lose. So we'll see you tomorrow. It's the next day. We are back. Marge again, but we have a plan. Brought some jacks, brought some more tools, brought some more things, and that truck is getting out of there today. Ryan's just throwing in the hand controls. I'll hop in, we'll head back up to the truck, and we will beat it. Well, right where we left her. Looks like people were by. They had to cut down the little bush there to get by. So what we're gonna do today, since there's spare tires on the rear, is borrow 2 of those and put them on the front. Because our biggest problem yesterday was the front axle just completely digging in and the steel wheels being on the ground and turned sideways. So we're gonna put tires on the front and we are gonna chain the steering straight. And that's gonna be the 2 biggest things that are gonna help today. Ryan's just taking a leak. Let's focus on him there. So, you wanna get her in a better spot, or are you happy with that? It's not horrible.
No, it's not.
So you see, here's the problem. And the leaf springs are actually collapsed. They're the opposite way, so the axle's sitting against the frame. So it's just dragging, picking up everything. So first up, Ryan's just gonna jack up the back end, pop the outer tire off, and that's what we will use for the front. Got one off, no problem. Those ones, we'll see. F450, so they're always a little tighter. There's the inside. That's the fuel tank. Here's the diesel, so it's the 7.3 liter. Not a light truck. Yeah, I don't know if you can see those leaves, but they are inverted. Now, they're pretty much just flat when they're stock, but there's a nasty bend there and the axle's sitting against the frame, so a little bit of heat there. Nothing for the pros. Ooh, look at that rat's nest of plies in there. Golly, that's not good. So we're running them inside out because That allows more space for us to hook chains or straps to keep the wheel straight. And since we don't need to turn, it'll be just fine. And it's stanced nice too. What'd you torque them to?
It's about 16 ugga-duggas, I think.
Nice. All right, so Ryan has got all tires on. So I'm spun around behind the truck now. Ryan's just chaining the steering straight so we can test that out. There's probably 200 or 300 feet until the first pretty sharp corner, almost 180 degrees switchback. So that will be a good point. If we do want to turn it around, we can just kind of ram it into the trees and then hook onto the front. But if it's going good, we'll just continue this way.
So we've got the rear tire chained up, act as a brake. We've got the front steering chained straight. Chained up all the steering knuckles back to the leaf springs, holding everything straight.
Come on, baby. This works. Well, so far so good. Ryan's just checking things over. The back tire is definitely doing its job, skidding. We're using the Yankum bridle, which, I mean, kind of meant for this, kind of not. We definitely push the limits of them. It's just the difference between having a Yankum hooked up and a chain is huge. Like, the chain just transfers all the shock through the frame and you're just getting shaken to bits in here. So just having the bridle, which doesn't even have a lot of kinetic energy, very minimal stretch, is all the difference. So if you guys want some Yankum stuff, use my link in the description and get 10% off. And it also helps the channel and you get the best ropes out there. Win, win, win. she's making it so far. We're definitely trimming out the trail a little bit. The front tires are kind of going all cattywampus now. We'll tighten up the rear chain and carry on, I guess. We're probably a third of the way there.
It grabbed on some trees.
Ah, yeah. The binder took a bit of a hit and bent a little bit, so it's the thing with this rugged stuff. It is hard on everything.
So our tire brake appears to have created some damage. As you can see, our brake works very well. And we've lost a few things off her. That's it.
Well, that was a lot more than we bargained for, but yeah, neither of us have quit in us, so one way or another that sucker was getting out, and it did. Just took a day extra, but made it. So as you can see, our braking system inflicted a bit of damage on the deck. I just watched the deck getting lower and lower in the rear view, and it did its job, but it's a little bound up now. get it eventually. Hard to tell what piece is what. Yeah, it's like jammed in the lug there. Interesting. Got it. Just had to roll the truck forward a little bit. And that is our portion done. So now we'll let our buddy Kane know that it's in a reasonable spot. It's just the main road is right there. So we're about 5 kilometers up that. He can easily get here with his truck and trailer, load it up and haul it off the mountain. Well, that was more than we bargained for, but got her. Nice work. That was a lot.
That was a lot of work.
Well, we have made it back to the truck and trailer. Just loading up Marge now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, be sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next video. Oh boy.